Most people don't wake up one morning and decide, from today, I will never move again. It doesn't happen like that. It happens slowly, quietly, in tiny decisions that feel harmless in the moment. You sit instead of stand, you take the elevator instead of the stairs, you drive for even the shortest distance. You tell yourself you're too busy, too tired, too stressed to exercise today, and then you say the same thing tomorrow, and then the day after. Weeks turn into months, months into years, and without realizing it, you build a life where your body is almost always in one of three positions: sitting, lying down, or scrolling. Movement becomes something you watch on screens, not something you do. You see other people running in the morning, going to the gym, walking their dogs, and you think, good for them. I just don't have the time or energy for that. The truth is, your lack of movement is not just a personality quirk. It is a powerful force slowly reshaping your body, your mind, your future. Imagine your body as a machine that was designed to move. Every joint, every muscle, every bone, your heart, your lungs, even your brain chemistry, are built around the expectation that you will walk, lift, stretch, bend, reach, push, and pull. When you remove movement from your life, you are asking this machine to function in a way it was never meant to. At first, it tries to adapt. Your body is incredibly forgiving in the beginning. You might sit for hours, sleep late, barely walk during the day, and still feel okay. That's what makes this habit so dangerous. There is no immediate punishment. No alarm goes off in your chest after the first week of skipping workouts. No voice shouts in your ear when you spend 10 hours in front of a computer and then relax with more hours in front of a TV. Your body is quiet, but it is taking notes. It starts to conserve energy because clearly you're not using it. Muscles that are not challenged begin to weaken. When muscles weaken, they stop supporting your joints properly. Tendons and ligaments, which rely on movement and healthy muscle engagement, become stiff and tight. Your posture begins to change. Maybe your shoulders roll forward. Maybe your lower back curves more than it should. Maybe your neck leans forward toward your screen. None of this hurts too much at first, so you ignore it. Over time, though, you begin to notice little signals. A slight ache in the lower back after a long day of sitting. Knees that complain when you climb stairs. A stiffness in your neck when you wake up in the morning. You tell yourself it's just age, or the mattress, or bad luck. But very often, it is simply the result of a body that is tired of being treated like a statue. Your circulation slows down when you sit for too long. Blood, which should be moving quickly to bring oxygen and nutrients to every corner of your body, moves more slowly. Your legs may feel heavy or numb sometimes. You might even notice swelling around your ankles after long periods of sitting. Inside, your heart is pumping, but it has to work harder through vessels that are not being helped by the natural pump of your muscles. Activity like walking or exercising squeezes your muscles, helping to push blood back toward your heart. When you remove that natural assistance, your cardiovascular system carries a heavier load alone. Meanwhile, your lungs are rarely asked to work hard. You breathe shallowly while sitting, hunched over screens. Your chest doesn't fully expand. You are not giving your body the deep, cleansing breaths that come with real physical effort. As a result, your cells are not getting as much oxygen as they could, and your metabolism begins to slow. Slowly, your ability to tolerate physical effort declines. The distance you can walk without getting tired gets shorter. That one flight of stairs that used to be nothing now leaves you breathing heavily. You laugh it off as being out of shape, but inside your body, the message is serious. You are losing capacity. It is like having a car that used to go 150 kilometers on a tank, but now it starts gasping after 50 because the engine is clogged and neglected. Then there's the question of weight. Not everyone who rarely exercises becomes overweight, but for many people, that is exactly what happens. When you sit most of the day and do not challenge your muscles, your body burns fewer calories. If your eating stays the same or increases because you may snack more when you're bored, stressed, or tired, do you start storing that extra energy as fat, especially around your stomach? At first, it's just a softer belly, jeans that feel slightly tighter, shirts that don't fit quite the same. You might buy new clothes and joke about it, but deep down, you feel uncomfortable in your own skin. With more body fat, especially around the waist, your risk for many health problems goes up. Your blood sugar control can become weaker. Without regular muscle activity to help your body use sugar from your bloodstream, more of it circulates freely, forcing your pancreas to work harder. Over years, this can lead to serious issues like insulin resistance or diabetes. Your blood fats can also change, with more of the harmful types that increase the chances of heart disease. You don't see these changes from the outside, but they are happening silently. The scary part is that the less you move, the less you feel like moving. Inactivity breeds more inactivity. When your muscles are weak and your lungs are unused to effort, even a short walk feels tiring. You begin to avoid movement because it is uncomfortable. You want to take a break halfway up a small hill? You choose the closest parking spot, not because you're late, but because walking feels like a chore. You convince yourself that you just hate exercise, and that's just who you are. But the truth is, your body is reacting to the training you have given it. You have trained your body to see movement as abnormal and rest as the default. The good news is, training works in both directions. If you slowly reintroduce movement, your body will adapt again. But if you don't, the slope continues downward. Your mind is not spared either. Exercise doesn't just shape muscles. It shapes mood, focus, and mental resilience. When you move, your body releases chemicals that help you feel calmer, happier, and more relaxed after physical effort. Without that natural release, your mind has fewer tools to handle stress. If you live a completely sedentary life, you may notice that your mood dips more often. You feel dragged down, low, empty, or restless inside. It becomes harder to shake off negative thoughts. Sometimes you feel trapped inside your own head. In the past, humans naturally burned off the stress of the day by walking, working physically, or moving through the world. Today, many of us sit with our stress, trapped between four walls, and then numb our feelings with screens and snacks. The energy that should have moved through your body gets stuck, and you feel it as anxiety, frustration, or a kind of sadness you can't explain. Concentration can also suffer. Without exercise, your brain receives less of the good blood flow and stimulation that help keep it sharp. Over time, your ability to focus on tasks, remember details, and think clearly can dull. You might find yourself reading the same sentence 3 times and still not absorbing it. You may feel like your mind is always tired, even when your body has technically rested all day. In reality, your body has been inactive, but not restored. Real rest is not just absence of movement, it's the balance after you have used your body in the way it was designed to be used. When there is no real effort, there is no real recovery either. It's only a flat gray zone of constant low-level fatigue. The social side of life can shift too. When you are always tired, always uncomfortable in your body, you may start to pull back from activities that involve movement. You say no to hikes, walks in the park, games with friends, outings that require standing or walking for long periods. You start to live a smaller life, limited by your stamina. Maybe you avoid beaches or swimming pools because you don't like how you look in certain clothes. Maybe you stop playing with younger siblings, your own kids or nephews and nieces, because you cannot keep up with their energy. These missed moments add up quietly and become regret later. The world outside continues to move, but you watch more and more of it from a chair or a bed, as the years go by with little or no exercise. Your body's structure itself can change. Bones become weaker because they are not being regularly stressed through weight-bearing activity. Strong bones need impact walking, running, climbing, lifting to stay dense. Without that, they can become more fragile. Muscle mass also declines naturally with age, but inactivity speeds this up. Weak muscles and weak bones together create a situation where even a small fall can lead to serious injury. The idea of falling down might seem minor to you now, but imagine a future where one slip in the bathroom or on the stairs means broken bones and months of pain and recovery, simply because your body had been allowed to rust instead of being maintained. There is also the reality of how inactivity affects serious health risks. While it might feel extreme to think about, a life without exercise is linked to a higher chance of diseases like heart disease, stroke, certain cancers, and other chronic conditions that can shorten your life or reduce the quality of your later years. Again, this is not about creating fear for no reason. It's about being honest that your daily choices add up. Every day you stay completely inactive is like placing a tiny weight on a scale. One day weighs nothing. 10 days weigh a little. 10 years weigh a lot. By the time you feel the full force of those years, it is much harder to undo the damage. And yet, perhaps the most painful part of never exercising is not the physical consequences, but the inner feeling that you have abandoned your own potential. Deep down, you know your body is capable of more. You might remember a time when you could run, play, dance, or climb without thinking twice. You might feel a stab of envy when you see someone jogging past your window, not because you hate them, but because they remind you of a version of yourself that never got the chance to exist. You might tell yourself comforting stories. I'm too old now. My genes are bad. I just don't have that lifestyle. But beneath those stories, there is a quiet voice saying, you could be stronger than this. You deserve better than this. The beautiful thing is that your body is always listening, and it is always willing to change. Even after years of inactivity, if you decide to move, it will respond. It will not become an athlete overnight, but it will begin to adapt. The first walk might leave you out of breath, but the second will feel slightly easier. The first time you try gentle exercises, your muscles may shake, but a few weeks later, the same movements will feel smoother. Your heart will start to pump more efficiently. Your lungs will learn to fill more deeply. Your joints will remember what it feels like to move through their full range, instead of being locked at 90-degree angles in chairs. Your brain will light up with the chemistry of effort and achievement. You will sleep better because your body will actually be tired for a good reason, not just drained from sitting and worrying. You don't need a fancy gym, membership, or expensive equipment to start changing this story. You can begin in the smallest ways, standing up and walking around the room every hour, choosing stairs when you can, taking 10 minutes in the morning or evening to stretch, following a simple home routine with bodyweight movements, walking outside for 15 minutes a day. These actions look tiny, but they are messages to your body saying, I haven't given up on you. I still want you to be strong. Over time, as these habits build, you will notice that your energy throughout the day is more stable. The fog in your mind starts to lift. Your mood becomes more balanced. Tasks feel a bit less overwhelming because you are facing them with a body that is slowly waking up. Of course, there will be resistance. Your old habits will pull you back to the couch, to the chair, to the bed, whispering that it's not worth the effort, that it's too late, that you are too far gone. But remember that those habits were built by repetition, not by truth. The truth is that as long as you are alive, your body is on your side. It's waiting, even now, to respond to the signals you give it. If you choose to send signals of stillness, it will slowly shut down its power. If you choose to send signals of movement, it will slowly rebuild its strength. So what happens if you never exercise? Your world shrinks. Your energy fades. Your risks grow. Your confidence erodes. Your future becomes heavier and more fragile than it needs to be. But what happens if you start even a little? Your world expands. Your energy rises. Your risks decrease. Your confidence returns. The choice is not between being a fitness model and doing nothing. The real choice is between slowly surrendering your body to a chair or gradually reclaiming it with each step you take. As this video ends, you can stay exactly as you are. Or you can stand up, even for just a minute, and let your first small act of movement be a promise to your future self that you will not let your body rust away in silence.